Have you ever wondered what makes people feel truly valued and included in the workplace? According to research, it all comes down to one crucial factor: leadership. In fact, up to 70% of an individual's sense of inclusion is determined by their leaders. And why does this even matter? Well, when employees feel included and valued, they're more likely to actively engage with their work, but also with their organization. They're more likely to generate innovative ideas and drive the overall success of the organization. Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Elizabeth van Geerestein. I'm your leadership insider, here to help you fast track your leadership and your career. In today's video, I'd like to talk about leading inclusively in a non-inclusive environment. And make sure you stick around to the end because I've got a great gift for you. When Cynthia Marshall became CEO of the NBA's Dallas Mavericks, she made a commitment to meet every member of the organization within the first 90 days. And the first question she asked was, "Tell me your life story." The message that Marshall wanted to send was that the whole person matters. Unfortunately, the problem with inclusive leadership is that according to recent studies, only 31% of employees believe that their leaders are inclusive. This means that less than 1/3 of employees feel that their leaders actually see them, that they value them, and that they respect them as a whole person. Generally speaking, this lack of true interest or this lack of inclusion may not be intentional. Many times, it's the result of leaders holding on to outdated beliefs as to what makes a good leader. And as a result, they fail to get the best out of their teams. And much of the time, they may not even realize it. In my opinion, inclusive leadership is a world-class skill, and it represents the practice of making quality decisions in the midst of differences, similarities, tensions, and complexities. Inclusion is the culture that encourages employees to feel psychologically safe so that they can really do their best work and develop and hone in on a growth mindset. It's a culture that makes them feel valued and allows them to experience a sense of belonging, even as they are continuously developing their skills and their knowledge and their intelligence. Research from BetterUp shows that 1 in 4 employees do not feel that they belong. And this holds true across companies, industries, and demographics. And however, for underrepresented employees, this sense of not belonging is even more pronounced. The personal cost of not feeling included is significant. And it also inadvertently hurts the team. When employees don't feel included, they don't show up in their best selves. They may not share their ideas or fully participate in discussions for fear of being even further excluded or left out. They don't feel comfortable that their ideas or their comments will be taken with the same openness and the same seriousness as anyone else's. And so they don't bring their unique personalities, background, interests, experience. In short, they don't bring their genius to the table. And as a result, they stay in a self-imposed comfort zone and they don't take risks. Or maybe this zone has been imposed on them by team members who don't expect much from them or have come to not expect much from them. And this often results in them not achieving greatly or getting noticed for the right reasons. It translates to employees who feel excluded being 25% less productive and also having 50% greater risk of turnover. It often becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They do less well on future projects, they get less inspiring or juicy projects to do, and they fall further down the radar of high performance. Leaders from diverse backgrounds or are in the minority face their own fair share of challenges when it comes to inclusive leadership. While they may have a better understanding and experience of underrepresented groups, they may still need to navigate complex power dynamics and also overcome negative biases and stereotypes from their team members and direct reports, who, because of their biases and negative stereotypes, do not accept their leadership and follow them and accept them and bring their best work to the table. So there we have almost a polar opposite of diverse leaders in a non-inclusive environment. There again, everyone suffers. The team members suffer because of their biases, holding back and working under potential. And the diverse leader struggles and suffers in doing whatever they can to create a strong team, but often failing miserably and falling far short of their own potential or where they could take the team if the situation was different. And research has shown that simply having a diverse leader does not guarantee an inclusive work environment. It's important for leaders and organizations to consciously work on creating this inclusive environment where stereotypes and negative biases are addressed and worked on so that everyone develops the capacity to handle difference and diverse groups and multiple perspectives with ease and souplesse. Placing a diverse leader in an environment without equipping the organization with the capacity to embrace diversity is often a recipe for disaster and really just causes your diverse leader to have to work doubly hard in an already tough role to bring their team with them. And diverse leaders can definitely bring a valuable perspective to the table, and they can serve as role models for all employees and not just those from underrepresented groups. So here are some suggestions for leaders who want to lead inclusively in a non-inclusive environment. Number 1, raise awareness in your organization about the different dimensions of diversity. Empathetic and inclusive leaders who recognize the different dimensions of diversity among their employees can foster an environment that is welcoming and respectful to all. Let's take a look at 3 dimensions of diversity that are applicable across all companies. Primary diversity covers those things that we can see visually, such as race, gender, age, ethnicity, or disability. The secondary dimension of diversity covers aspects such as religion, geographic location, lifestyle, as well as economic or family status, and education or language. These things are not always immediately visible. They are attributes that are somewhat under the surface that you may draw assumptions on from visible attributes externally, but you'd have to probe a little bit deeper to find out whether they exist or not. So you can't always tell by looking at someone what their religion is. You can't always tell by looking at someone what their marital status is. So that's the secondary dimension of diversity. And the tertiary dimension of diversity refers to those attributes that we don't always know about at first glance, such as beliefs, assumptions, perceptions, values, feelings, attitudes, or even sexual orientation. By acknowledging and valuing different aspects of diversity, leaders can create a culture where everyone feels seen, heard, appreciated, welcomed. So for example, Microsoft's CEO Satya Nadella initiated the company's unconscious bias training, which has since become a model across the world for so many other organizations. The program is designed to help employees recognize their own unconscious biases and take active steps to mitigate. And my friends at Microsoft tell me it's an amazing program. An anti-bias or an awareness of unconscious bias training can lead to greater collaboration, creativity, and innovation as employees let down the walls of self-protection that they may have held to protect themselves against their unconscious biases. As they let down these walls, collaboration increases and employees bring their unique perspectives to the table, and a greater and more enhanced perspective is created. Furthermore, raising awareness around increasing the personal and collective capacity to engage with diversity collaboratively and positively helps to identify and address unconscious biases that might be lurking in the systemic culture, organization, or in the business. Number two, and I've also touched on it, create a level of comfort, a level of skill in navigating, embracing, and addressing and working with diversity within your team. Essentially, leaders can create environments where team members can safely express their diverse perspectives, their diverse ideas and experiences without fear of judgment and rejection. To achieve this, leaders can encourage open communication, active listening, and foster an environment of mutual respect at all times. I'm a firm believer in encouraging diversity, equity, and inclusion training such that employees all increase their own personal responsibility and their personal awareness and understanding of their own biases and actively work to deal with it to create a more collaborative and respectful and culture at all times. Lynn Doughty, former CEO and chairman of KPMG US, is a prime example of a leader who creates a clear vision for inclusion. Doughty made it a priority to create a more diverse and inclusive workplace, and she ensured that everyone knew about it. She frequently emphasized the significance of diversity, equity, and inclusion, both internally and externally. Number three, address differences and create opportunity. Successful, inclusive leaders actively seek out and engage with people who have diverse perspectives, experiences, and backgrounds. They understand that differences can bring new and better insights, innovative ideas, and valuable solutions to problems, no matter how uncomfortable they may first appear when hearing it for the first time. They recognize that addressing differences is not about ignoring them, but rather about embracing them as part of the team's strength and uniqueness. For example, Salesforce's CEO, Mark Benioff, has been a vocal advocate for pay equity and closing the gender pay gap. Back in 2015, he conducted an audit of the company's salaries, and he spent over $3 million to bring women's salaries on parity with male salaries. Since then, the company conducts regular audits to ensure pay equity. This demonstrates a commitment to addressing differences and creating an environment of equity for all employees. I hope you found this video helpful and that it encourages you to approach leadership with an inclusive and unbiased stance. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'd love to give back. So I'm opening up my personal leadership accelerator platform for all my YouTube community. Check out the link in the description and register right away for our next free webinar session. Look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be great. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to register for our complimentary webinar. See you next time.